Scotland forever.
Now that I got that joke out of the way and I got your attention, welcome back to Hexbots Heat M. Last time we saw Komodo Dragon with the full 12 points move on, and I guess Samurai also moves on miraculously, leaving T-Bone to go to the third place bracket. Well, that's something. But in any cases, as you might have heard me scream at the top of my lungs, it's Scotland forever with one of the robots we have, the latest 4th of July special champion, and a couple other spinners that are here for the show. And for your entertainment, people. So without further ado, let's get on with the lineup and start this heat. First, from Edinburgh, Scotland, Whippersnapper. The returning adversary is back out of the arena again. Whippersnapper has their signature chain spinner and their most unserious face. Strengths, he's very locked in. However, he's not the most unserious. He's the most unserious in the arena. From Ilulissat, Greenland, Viper Shot. So far, in terms of this, the latest champion is in the books. Viper Shot has their new bar spinner and their updated look for the season. Strengths, it's a very well-rounded robot with a well-rounded drive. However, its weapon isn't entirely that strong. But let's see. From Bozeman, Montana, Rexy. Coming back after a somewhat dismal season last year, Rexy is back out in the arena again with their sloped wedge and their spinning disc. Strengths, it exists, at least. Weaknesses, it's easily lifted. From Exeter, New Hampshire, Pushover. The beast of a robot that could have gone all the way. Pushover is back at it again with their signature overhead spinner, and more than enough, their electrical gremlins. Their strengths, their weapon is extremely powerful, making it to the semi-finals last year. However, weaknesses, it's electrical gremlins. From Paris, France, Gargoyle. At least, but not last this year, is Gargoyle, with the Tower Ver with the orange flaming spinner. It didn't do well in the New Blood tournament, but it did well in the recent 4th of July special. It's got a decently powerful weapon, however, big weakness, it has no ground game. Well, this looks like a good lineup. Anyways, to kick things off, we have a rematch from the Series 1 tournament with Whippersnapper and Viper Shot. Viper Shot won the fight by a judge's decision. Can Whippersnapper prove something else, or will Viper Shot win it again? Both of these robots have vastly improved since the few seasons, with Whippersnapper managing to make the top 8 last year, and Viper Shot managing to win a tournament, the 4th of July special, a few weeks ago. But in any cases, let's start the fight. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. The rematch is underway. Whippersnapper versus Viper Shot. Both of these robots have been improved over the past few years. Let's see if they'll continue it this year. Whippersnapper just slapping the spinner with its chain flails. And Viper Shot is, well, it's doing well for the most part. It did win the most recent 4th of July special against Flippy, who we'll see in the next heat. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, Viper Shot is so far looking to be a dark horse going into this tournament. And same with Whippersnapper. They both made it to the tournament. Whippersnapper the more impressive, making it to the quarterfinals. And Viper Shot, I think, into the round of 16. I forgot who we lost to, but it was a good one nonetheless, because in the round of 32, he won against Icebreaker. In any cases, Whippersnapper pushing back Viper Shot. I think Viper Shot is trying to put Whippersnapper into the screws, but I don't know if it's really working. Whippersnapper is a very tough robot to try and lift up. I say that, and it probably is later on down the line. And it was Whippersnapper and Viper Shot up to speed. I kind of just realized that the axle of Viper Shot is also a little bit loose on it. I don't know if that's going to be an issue for it later on, or if Whippersnapper is actually doing something this time. Anyways, the pulverizer going down for literally no reason. None of the robots are there. As Whippersnapper turning, the pulverizer coming down to the top of Whippersnapper, flailing madly, but Whippersnapper gets to evade, but then is stuck between Viper Shot as the two release. Both go at it again. Viper Shot turning, trying to center itself to maybe push Whippersnapper, but Whippersnapper is doing a very good job at pushing back Viper Shot. This is looking to be pretty good so far for the Scottish machine against the Greenland machine. Obviously, what's fun here is that, yeah, Viper Shot won a championship. That's America themed, and it's actually from Greenland. That's extremely funny. Anyways, Viper Shot trying to move around. It feels like a matter of time before that rod for Viper Shot's weapon flies off, but it's maintaining its ground, and it's still pushing back Whippersnapper into the screws. Can they get him up is a question. I don't think so. Whippersnapper gets free, and Viper Shot tries to regain ground as it's trying to push back Whippersnapper. Now trying to go for the out of the arena zone, I think. You know, we haven't had that whole lot this season, but yeah, it did catch a few robots off guard. But yeah, we are going to a judge's decision. This is a pretty close fight in my book. Whippersnapper and Viper Shot go the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a judge's decision. We have a split decision. Judge 1 scored the battle for Whippersnapper. Judge 3 scored the battle for Viper Shot. And Judge 2 scored the battle for the winner, Whippersnapper. Well, that was kind of controversial to start things off. Well, at least Whippersnapper wins the rematch, but at what cost? Because now he has a bit of some controversy now with Viper Shot. Well, we'll have the two non-American machines duke that out, but we have two American machines going at it with similar designs, being T-Rex-a-lot in the blue and Pushover in the red. Both these robots made the tournament last year, and Pushover was able to get 4th place, and I don't know what happened with T-Rex-a-lot because I'm lazy to go back into the footage. But in any cases, let's see who wins this battle between two spinners. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. T-Rex-a-lot and Pushover up to speed. Two disc spinners in similar proportions. Both were pretty good in their respective tournaments. T-Rex-a-lot in Series 2 and Pushover in Series 3. As Pushover gets up to speed, T-Rex-a-lot almost aims for the wall for some reason, but is back as Pushover. We definitely missed this robot, of course, after it was brutally mullered by eventual champions Gorilla in its tournament fight as... I think T-Rex-a-lot just died. Well, T-Rex-a-lot just straight up died for some reason, and I guess Pushover's going to take a quick and easy knockout. Well, that was kind of disappointing for them. Well, Pushover going to get 3 points. Well, that was pretty anticlimactic. T-Rex-a-lot kind of just died for some reason, and this was the 3rd take. The first take, it rammed into the screws, and then the second take, Pushover rammed into the screws, but then with the 3rd take, it actually kind of worked, as a fight should. But in any cases, Pushover is now in the lead with 3 points, as now we get on the Battle of the Tower Verts between Viper Shot in the blue and Gargoyle in the red. We've seen a lot of Gargoyle in the recent year, and it seems to be a pretty formidable machine. It did manage to get 4th place at the 4th of July special, don't get me wrong, and also same with Viper Shot, who won the Bleeding Championship. But in any cases, let's see who wins. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. The Tower Verts at it. Viper Shot versus Gargoyle. They both land a hit, gathering up for a shot, and Gargoyle is flipped on his head. Well, Gargoyle down almost immediately from the second hit. They hit Viper Shot, and they're being dragged back into the screws. Unless if they're going to get back up, I don't think Gargoyle's going to win this fight at all. And I guess it looks like they're not. They're pinned to the side wall, and I guess Viper Shot are going to get 3 points. What a win for the Viper King. And Viper Shot topples the Titan to get 3 points, and so far ahead of the leaders. As now Whippersnapper comes back into the ring as he faces T-Rex-a-lot. This should be a pretty interesting fight between two pushing robots that still have weapons that don't do anything. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Whippersnapper and T-Rex-a-lot up to speed, two veterans of the sport going at it. Can T-Rex-a-lot get some points on the leaderboard, or will Whippersnapper will? T-Rexlot so far does have the pushing advantage as they're shunting around Whippersnapper. Can they get him into the screws? It doesn't look like it, although they did for a moment, but they didn't really. T-Rexlot's pushing back Whippersnapper into the corner and landing some snipe shots with the disc spinner. Whippersnapper, the team from Scotland, have to prove something as T-Rexlot gets up to speed and tries to land a hit onto Whippersnapper, and they do so to the face of it as it's pushing back Whippersnapper. One of the flails is stuck in the screws, but it gets free. Both robots are really tight into these screws. I don't know, it looks like T-Rexlot went up it for a moment. I don't know if Whippersnapper's going to take it to their advantage. They are. T-Rexlot up into the screws, and a track has come loose. And T-Rexlot being fed into the screws by Whippersnapper, and they're stuck. Whippersnapper have gotten an upset win over T-Rexlot. How about that? T-Rexlot down for the count. Whippersnapper gonna take a 3-pointer. I guess T-Rexlot's streak of the good seasons have now just been in complete disarray as he was doing a masterful job of controlling Whippersnapper, don't get me wrong, but at the end when Whippersnapper got a good hold of him, the track came loose and he got stuck in the screws. It was all over for T-Rexlot, and Whippersnapper get 3 points. Anyways, the next up is a rematch from the latest 4th of July special between Gargoyle and Pushover. Last time, Gargoyle won the fight by basically just having Pushover ram him into the wall and killing him. But now this time, things are different. Pushover has 3 points, and Gargoyle has yet to get any. Can he win, or will Pushover make it happen? 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Pushover and Gargoyle up to speed. The rematch is underway. Gargoyle won the fight by basically having Pushover be stuck in the sidewall, as Pushover being fed into the screws by Gargoyle. The both are trying to land a hit. Gargoyle nearly misses the screws. Almost misses the screw again, but Pushover is trying to lean back, trying to win, but Gargoyle gets himself stuck in the wall. Great. It's like what happened in the other fight, but the opposite. Well, Gargoyle's just gonna get stuck. Pushover is gonna take another 3-pointer. What a win for the Gremlin machine. What I kind of expected Pushover to just lose the fight again, it's basically the opposite of what the original fight had in store. Instead of Pushover getting stuck in the same wall that he lost to in the previous fight, it was Gargoyle. Gargoyle's season is also not going pretty smoothly for the 4th placers of the 4th of July special, the recent one to be specific. But now we have the champion Viper Shot against another pointless robot, T-Rexlot. It can go either way with either of these robots could face each other, but obviously we're here for the show, so enough of my bullcrap speaking and let's get started. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. 2 veteran machines at it in the arena. Viper Shot and T-Rexlot. T-Rexlot had some upgrades in the second season. Viper Shot has it this year. Let's see how the both do. T-Rexlot trying to go around Viper Shot. It's doing well for the most part, I'll give it that. It has a knockout win over Gargoyle, and I think a judge's decision win over Whippersnapper, or if it was the opposite, I don't really know. Anyways, T-Rexlot is desperate for points right now, because so far they're at 0 points right now. A loss to Whippersnapper and Pushover, as the two are circling around. Viper Shot trying to land a hit. It does. Try to push back T-Rexlot, but it doesn't look like it. T-Rexlot eases off. And now it wants to bait Viper Shot into the screws, but it's going up itself. Like, it's going near the screws itself, and that's just leaving itself open for Viper Shot to push him up there, which I don't really think is a good idea from the team, because obviously they lost to the screws and they're getting stuck in the screws, literally just as I said it. Brilliant. Anyways, T-Rexlot, well, they're stuck on the screws. I don't think they're going to get back down from this chief, unless if a miracle happens to them, but it doesn't look like it, and they're being stuck in the thing, and yeah, T-Rexlot is dead. Well, Viper Shot are going to take another 3 points. This machine is one to watch out for. I'm witnessing some type of paradox right now. It feels like the spinners with like the demo derby type of spinner just keep getting caught in the screws and just lose. And just don't even win a fight. It feels like it's happening again here with T-Rex a lot. If T-Rex a lot doesn't get any points, which I highly doubt, he'll be sitting out in the tournament. Or any. Anyways, next up we got Whippersnapper in the blue and Pushover in the red. Can Pushover continue his KO streak, or will Whippersnapper cut it short? Well, let's find out. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Both robots were moving for a moment. Anyways, a chunk has come off of Whippersnapper's flail. Well, that's somewhat a good start, although it kind of just damages the paint, to be honest. Anyways, Whippersnapper getting up to speed, Pushover, trying to make a move as it's doing something, thankfully, not just standing in one place for like an entire fight, and the judges forget to count him out. Although the both are stuck right now. As I said that, we're gonna get Hans to help us. Thank you. Anyways, the fight resumes. Pushover, Whippersnapper. Both robots are looking pretty good this year. Whippersnapper so far with 4 points, I think. Pushover with 6. And it's looking to be a good season for Pushover. They can make the tournament again this year. Hopefully as yet another high seed. And it looks like they are. They have Whippersnapper in the screws. Now, if only if they could turn, for the love of Christ. They could, but they get Whippersnapper free. But they're trying to not repeat the same mistake as they're getting Whippersnapper up into the screws. But this time, Pushover is actually working for us and is trying to push Whippersnapper out of the arena. And it looks like they have an opening. Can they? Can Whippersnapper get free? Or will Pushover send him? That is if Pushover can move. Can it move? I said, can it move? Yes, it can. Whippersnapper is trying to get free out of here. A big hit by Pushover, and Whippersnapper is gone. Pushover taking another 3 points. What a fight for him. I swear, if we could see Pushover actually win his last fight against Viper Shot and get the full 12 points, I would just host a celebration party. Actually, I think that's what I might do. In any cases, for the last fight for T-Rexlot, he's going up against the rookie's Gargoyle. Neither of them have points, but it could change. Can T-Rexlot win a fight? Or can Gargoyle finally break away his electrical gremlins and actually win a fight for once? It's not looking too good for either of them, and both of them could be tempted to leave the series if they don't win. But in any cases, let's find out who wins. 3, 2, 1... activate. Let the bot battle begin. The two weapons are up to speed. T-Rexlot going in. Gargoyle trying to not get themselves knocked out and actually get some points right now, because I believe they're at 0 points right now. I mean, to be fair, so are T-Rexlot, and this is their last fight, in which I really doubt they might do anything, and yeah, they go up in the screws. Great. Well, it was kind of a horrible season there for T-Rex-a-lot. I think this was like their worst since Series 1. But even that was more effective than whatever the hell T-Rex-a-lot's doing here. Because it looks like I think they're stuck completely, but Gargoyle is trying to actually get him out of the arena. And it looks like T-Rex-a-lot, I guess, isn't gonna go down unless a miracle happens. Yeah, no, there isn't. He's doomed. Yeah, it looks like Gargoyle, yeah, he just chucks T-Rexlot out of the arena and Gargoyle wins. Hooray. Wow, an actual rare moment in the series where Gargoyle actually locks in. Like, seriously, it took him this long to actually realize what it's doing. And just before we could say, oh, but that's a double knockout. First of all, your eagle eyes clearly aren't looking. And second off, it was clearly T-Rexlot. If they fall out of the arena, it's an automatic knockout, and the judges weren't counting out Gargoyle, so Gargoyle gets the knockout win. T-Rexlot loses the series with absolutely nothing on his plate. Anyways, the second to last fight, we have Viper Shot in the blue and Pushover in the red. Viper Shot has 7 points right now, and Pushover with 9. If he can win a knockout against Viper Shot, he's definitely going to get a very high seed in the series bracket. But let's find out. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Viper Shot and Pushover up to speed. And Pushover being pushed back by Viper Shot to start the fight. Both are pretty good so far for points. I mean, I guess this is mainly just for bragging rights since they are both going to the tournament. That being Viper Shot and Pushover. Pushover is barely moving. A big hit there from Viper Shot, popping up Pushover. I guess as a way to make him snap out of it. As now he's pushing him into the screws, but Pushover manages to get free. And now charges in to Viper Shot. Can he knock off the juicy stabilizers on Viper Shot? That's my question. A big hit by Pushover and bouncing off the wall goes Pushover, but Viper Shot is still continuing the onslaught as it's pushing back Pushover as he escapes this corner after his sudden electrical gremlins for some odd reason. Pushover, it doesn't really look like he's having too much fun right now, especially with his controls. I don't know what's going on with this machine. Maybe they need to add holes in their weapon. Who knows? Anyways, Pushover rams into the wall again. That's not some good control there. Speaking of control, who do you might think control goes to? I would 100% say Viper Shot, just out of a pure gamble, because, well, Pushover barely wants to work, and it looks like Viper Shot is just all in the display right now. It's a shame, too, because Pushover looks to be another robot that could get the full 12 points, much like Komodo Dragon. However, it doesn't really look like it if he's gonna act like this. Like, come on, bro. Snap out of it. Anyways, Pushover continues to go around. Viper Shot trying to aim. Maybe try to avoid that spinner to not have their stabilizers be knocked off, as it found that out the hard way in one fight back at the 4th of July special. Anyways, Viper Shot continuing to push back Pushover, but Pushover is still going. I don't think there's anything that could really stop it besides its electrical gremlins. Both are staying good in control. I don't know who's really doing the more damage. I might say Pushover since they're going for the supports. And maybe in terms of aggression, like staying toward them, but they just pop themselves for some odd reason. I don't really know. It looks like both are pretty even. Although I think I might give the slight edge to Viper Shot for staying more engaged to their opponent and staying good in control, because at least they're moving, and to their credit, where credit is due, same with Pushover. Anyways, Pushover is trying to line itself up for a shot. It did on the weapon of Viper Shot, but it didn't really connect as big. Like, this isn't Ocean Man we're talking about. This is just Viper Shot, okay? He's like the lesser powerful Ocean Man, but it still works. We're going to time right now between these two. It's pretty close on who might win this. I still might say Viper Shot, though. Cease. Ladies and gentlemen, we've entered a judge's decision. Judge 1 scored the battle for Pushover. Judge 2 scored the battle for Viper Shot. And Judge 3 scored the battle for the winner, Pushover. Man, I don't know what's up with Pushover this year. It feels like he was kind of just, yeah, he was good last year. He even made 4th place, but this time he really locked the hell in this round. And will definitely secure a very high seed. Viper Shot, well, in between. Anyways, next up we have our final fight between Whippersnapper and Gargoyle. If Gargoyle loses by, say, a judge's decision, then Whippersnapper goes on to the 3rd place bracket. But if Gargoyle can win against Whippersnapper in a knockout, then he has a shot of making the 3rd place bracket, leaving Whippersnapper to be out. It depends on the fate between these two robots. Let's see who wins. 3, 2, 1, knockout. Let the last bot battle begin. Whippersnapper up to speed and Gargoyle up to speed. So far, Whippersnapper has 5 points, Gargoyle with 3. If they can get another knockout, it will go on to the 3rd place bracket, leaving Whippersnapper out. Although time will tell with Whippersnapper. They could potentially make the tournament, or they could make the Desperado tournament. who knows if they could get their act together. And it was Whippersnapper just whipping the back of Gargoyle as Gargoyle gets that weapon up to speed, but they shut it off. They said they're going to go more controlled this time instead of just leading with their weapon. And it was, they actually turn on the weapon, and the weapon flies off of Whippersnapper. Well, so far, damage is definitely going to Gargoyle here. The Pulverizer stops that weapon of Gargoyle as Gargoyle gets back up to speed and tries to push around the Scottish Machine, who is in turn also pushing back the French Machine. Yes, it's Scotland versus France in this time. A bit of a hard time believing this, right? Anyways, Gargoyle is trying to go after Whippersnapper. Whippersnapper goes into the screws. What are you doing? You're giving Gargoyle an opening. But they manage to escape. If Gargoyle can move, which they can, but not so much. Whippersnapper pushing back Gargoyle. So even if that weapon is gone, it's still got the pushing power, which is something Gargoyle doesn't really have. It does have the rear wheel drive, and to be cautious right here, Whippersnapper does have rear wheel drive, so that's something. And they're pushing back Gargoyle. Can they get him in the screws, or will Gargoyle do the opposite and hopefully get themselves a tournament slot? As they shut off their weapon, I think that's a good option for them to stay focused more on driving, because they already did the damage in knocking off the weapon of Whippersnapper. So it's all more of a pushing match this time, as it's Whippersnapper and Gargoyle, the fight to see who goes to the third place bracket and who goes home to pay their taxes. Gargoyle gets up to speed and tries to push back Whippersnapper, but now Gargoyle has a good hold, and they push up Whippersnapper, and they're out of the arena. Whippersnapper gone from the arena, and Gargoyle gets a monumental upset, going on to the third place Desperado tournament. Whippersnapper tried giving it his all in that fight, but it was not even enough, as Gargoyle, with a swift execution, was able to push him out of the arena. Well, that concludes for this heat. Congratulations to all three of the robots that have succeeded. Pushover with 11 points and Viper Shot with 8 points, both moving on to the tournament. And Gargoyle surviving his last fight and going to the third place Desperado tournament with 6 points. Well, I guess that's going to conclude for right now, as next is the second to last heat. I don't know what really to put here. Subscribe to the channel, or else I will find you. Anyways, bye.